Tracking Taylor's completions during spring, this looks like maybe higher. Like he had a game today, Taylor, in the first half.
I think he had a really good day. Thought we caught the ball really well. You know, the group of guys that he was playing with, I think he made some great throws. We also made some really good catches, you know, out there. But it was good to have Tyrone back and good to have Armstrong back. And, you know, those guys make us better. And obviously both of them had some injuries, family situations, but it was really good to have them back. And I thought Taylor, you know, in some of those runs too, possibly could have been a lot further. But I thought he showed. Thought he showed a lot of poise today, and obviously that he's a great leader, and the kids playing around him believe in him.
Y'all having breakfast for dinner, or is breakfast another day, tomorrow, or whatever?
No, we're having it. It's on Monday, and I won, so you know I'm getting the works.
Wyndon, what'd you think about Jaquindon's day to day? Ran hard.
You know, 2 or 3 of his good runs I missed as I was talking to the television folks. Heard the crowd. I know he what he run? Was it on a stretch play to get outside on the one down the north end zone on the visitor side? But he's had a really good spring. He's a guy that's probably even better when it's alive. You know, he looks better because he bounces off people. Uses stiff arm a little bit more. He's got a violent stiff arm, but he always seemed to be moving forward. And when he gets hit hard, he grins and gets up. And he's just a tough kid. But it was a really good get out of the portal. He's a really good get and brings a lot to the team as well off the field.
15-yard touchdown catch and run. I don't think he was utilized a whole lot in the passing game in his career in the past. Do you think that's something he could be used a lot as?
I think, Trey, as you know from the past, even that we're going to get the running backs involved throwing to them. You know, screen game is a big deal in our offense and Coach Petrino's play calling. We've had success in practice some with that, especially getting it into a blitz, a cat, something of that like that. But he's got really good hands, and I look for our backs to be utilized big time in the receiving game.
What were your overall thoughts of the first team offensive line today?
Well, they protected well. We ran the ball well. We should. Let's put it like that. But, you know, you compete against your opponent or yourself, you know, and I think that group is a group that competes against themselves. They want to be good as a collective group. But I thought we ran the ball well, and certainly Taylor had. I think there was 2 sacks with his group. One was a cat that he didn't see on a empty protection, and one of them was we got beat at the running back position, but it wasn't on the offensive line. You know, I've coached O-line forever. Everything negative goes on the offensive line, but that's not really what happened. So I think Eric's done a great job with those guys, but you have to give them credit because, you know, getting Junior Carmona in here and Blackstock and Nichols, they have a different way about them. Braun now has moved up as a leader more, and he feels like he has the opportunity. So obviously moving Kudus inside was a good decision as well. So I like the cohesiveness of the group. I think they played well.
Injuries and stuff at receiver, but it seems like outside of the first team guys, CJ Brown gets almost all the receptions. What have you thought of him?
That was so neat to see. You know, obviously he's from Bentonville, you know, but it was really neat to see his speed when he caught the ball down the home sideline going south. He's really well coached out of high school, but you know, if you know his family, he's coming from a mature, respectful family. So he came in here probably older than his age.
You mentioned Broden being back. Was he back yesterday for the walkthrough, or was today his first day back?
Broden has been back. He was there yesterday for the walkthrough and then today, and he wanted to play, and he got reasons why, for some people in his family that he wanted to play for, and I thought it was really cool that he went out and had a good day.
What's it say that? I mean, he missed a week, but it didn't
Yeah.
seem like he skipped a beat at all. He had a really good day today. What's it say about him that he was able to do that?
I think between Ronnie, Broden, and Bobby, I think they have all gotten confidence built into Tyrone. He's always been very, very athletic, but I don't know if he's always thought that he was a great receiver. I think some of the catches he made today proves that we need him. A lot of people would want him, but it says a lot about his maturity. Of course, he's an older kid, but I think he had a reason and a purpose to go out there today and play well.
Did anybody in particular on defense maybe flash to you today? I know you got to watch the film, but
Landon Jackson was around a lot, I felt like, today. Cam Ball has been that way throughout the spring. The linebackers were making plays. They can run, and that's some. Sori's really fast. I saw Dean make some very physical tackles today, and then with the one defense, I think you have to mention Jaden Johnson because he was very physical in position. The one thing about it is, guys, I think we had maybe four penalties on the day or close to that, and I don't believe when we were playing reds and whites, the ones and twos, we were very, very minimal in penalties. And as we all know, I've been here for 5 years, going on 5 years now. And then at the beginning of the year, it's hard, but our officiating at practice has been better, I think. So I was proud of that as well.
Portal season opening up next week. What's some of the priorities for you with the remaining scholarships you have?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I want to say this first. Number one, portal, we don't want to lose any of our players. And I had a talk with our team and I said, hey, if we just don't lose anybody that we have and don't add anybody, we're going to have us a fine football team. So the number one thing is I don't want to lose anybody we have. Inevitably, we're going to. I mean, hope not, but we could. I don't know why you'd want to leave this team. It's a good football team, but I understand the landscape of football. Once that happens, we would, if we don't lose anybody, we have 5 scholarships available. We need to get some more help on the D line. We need to get some more help on the offensive line, and we need to get maybe another wide receiver. If we just had 5 instead of going to wide out, we would go to linebacker. We need an older linebacker. When saying that, and I'm answering your question because it's a good, fair question. I'm not saying we need that because we don't have players at those positions, because I think we all believe that we do. It's just a matter of age, depth, all those things that go into that.
The number 2 quarterback position, is that probably going to go into the fall?
It is. And as a matter of fact, it was a very difficult decision even who to run out there today, because I think you got, the beauty of it when I'm asking you questions, and I know that you guys have been at every practice. When you ask me a question, to me, it gives you a chance to be more educated on your questions as well. And then when I give you an answer that I'm telling you what I see, and most of the time it's what we agree on. With the number 2 quarterback position, it could be, in my opinion, it could be any of the 3 that are running to. Bobby played all 3 of those second team guys in the first half. But I think it's wide open in there. Obviously, Taylor Green is our quarterback. But after that, I think it's a very wide open race. And I'm not saying any of them can't go get Taylor. I'm not saying that, but I believe he'll work hard to keep his position. But between the four of them, I think we still have to wait and see on 2, 3, and 4.
Same with the field goals today, you know, some misses, some hits.
Mhm.
What'd you think of those guys today and maybe their spring overall?
Well, we have to be more consistent. I mean, we haven't performed well in the stadium. We have performed well in the indoor or on the practice field. This week was our best week we've had kicking field goals up to today. And it's somehow we've got to figure out how to put them through those 2 yellow poles inside the stadium, because they're doing it at practice better than they did earlier in the year. So those kids are good, hard workers. They have the capabilities. I haven't lost any trust or anything like that in them, because I've seen them do it many a time. We've got to continue to get them in here and make sure they can make them inside the stadium, because that's where it's going to count, you know.
You got the UAPB game move change the other day. That's obviously going to give you extra time for Oklahoma State. Just wonder what your thoughts are on that move overall, playing on the Thursday going into Labor Day weekend.
Well, you look at a few things when you go to Little Rock. And number one, you really don't want to take away from, you know, great football over there. So you don't want to take away from the Friday nights, you know. But you go over there and you look at Little Rock. And the first thing is, if you play in September, then what time do you want to play the game? So everybody at Little Rock, and probably everybody ever wants to play the game at night because it's so dang hot, right? Well, if you play at night, then we have a home game that we get home at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's always earlier in the year. And we've got a 6 or 7 game road stretch before our bye week, right? Now, this year is different because we have 6, a bye, 6, and, you know, and then another bye. So this year's a little bit different. But to me, playing on Thursday gives you a lot of reasons to play on Thursday night. Number one, it's a night game. So folks will be able to tailgate and it won't be as hot. It won't be as hot on our guys. And you gain 2 days on your next opponent. And I believe that that was the best decision and really the only decision we could make, other than saying, we're going to go over there and play at night on our first game. And that just didn't give us any type of advantage at all. And I believe we'll get people come out and see us on a Thursday night over there.
You mentioned potentially adding a receiver out of the portal, but you've chosen to bring all the receivers, most of the receivers back from last year. I'm wondering, like, them getting comfortable and going through the SEC last year, has that helped their growth at all? Like Broden and Armstrong?
I think it has everything to do with it. I do. Again, good thought. I think we all think Andrew Armstrong's a lot better than he was last year right now. And Broden is the same way. Heck, Satania's that way. So I think getting familiar with offense and all that, but it's also about the maturity process of being a college student and understanding the difference in whatever ball you came from to SEC football and how different programs run their programs. So, is it difficult to come in and be your top, probably your first year? Probably. But at the same time, and again, I feel really good about our wide receiver position. But you need to be 9 deep. And are we? I don't know. If there's somebody available that we think can help us win games, and then we would look at them.
Sam, we had Brad Spence with 3 TFLs today. Just what were your impressions of him, and then his spring as a whole? Does that give you added confidence in him going into the summer?
Brad last year made some plays, didn't make some plays. He was a freshman. He's going to continue to make more plays and not make some. We're all human. But I think his growth this spring has been quite a bit. And he's earned where he started today, I believe. And I like Dean and Sanford behind him or around that spot too. I think Sorey's certainly a really good player. But Spence specifically there is his knowledge of what he's supposed to be doing has really improved. Therefore, he's able to play and use his God-given ability.
I think you got through the spring without any major injuries.
Yeah,
How's that feeling? What was Dozier's the other day?
yeah, that's what I was going to go to, Tom. We did. Let's say this. Like when you go through spring, you tackle 5 times. You know, that's what we did, third of the practices. And you end up with nobody going to miss any time when we start 2-a-days because of spring ball. I think you're very, very fortunate. Zuri's was different because, you know, he was on a scooter, but Davion Dozier broke his wrist on that play. He was reaching out for the ball and the other one, he just planted his wrist. So, but other than that, I think everybody will be back by the time we get back in June for late May, early June for our 8-week lifting program, conditioning lifting program.
And then just putting the bow on spring, you know, got better and like feel better on both sides of the ball.
I like the team, Tom. I like this. I like that part of it, you know. I like the team that they like each other. We have a better football team. Where we go, I think we're going to go up because the kids in the room want to, and they're talented enough to do it. But where we were in November to where we are now, there's a lot of change, and it's been positive. And so I'm happy where we are now. We got a long way to go, but we got the right people in the building, whether it be coaches or players, that can get there.
Sam, I understand you had about 450 lettermen back, and I saw on social media, I think it looked like you and the staff talked to him. I just wonder what was that like seeing all those guys, and what was your message to them? Am I wrong about that? Or
No, I didn't hear the letterman.
So yeah, I just wonder what your message was to them, and just what that was like seeing all those.
Well,
guys.
that was awesome. You know, Darren McFadden was back, and you know, Arkansas has a rich tradition. I was talking to one man, and he was talking about, well, I went to the Cotton Bowl, and I went to some other bowl, and I went to Blue Bonnet Bowl or something in 4 years, and you know, to be in the presence of those guys. But I just thanked them. You know, I think we all want to live in the past. Those guys were very, very positive about what we can do next year. And I think that goes to say that 450 people in there, I thought it was the biggest group that we've had. And so it goes to say that I felt like the group is behind us still, and they believe in us. And I just thanked them for all that. I think a lot of them were back for obviously the spring game, and then for the days going home, celebration. And I think some of them guys came back for Dane but it's just humbling to be in front of those guys that have so much love for the Razorbacks, and they're so kind to me, and it's humbling. And I just thanked them for that, and thanked them for believing in what we're doing. And I was appreciative of that. All right, guys.